Imagine waking up to the news that one of the world's biggest space powers, the same nation that launched the first human into orbit, may have just lost its ability to send people into space overnight. A single rocket launch, a damaged launch pad, and suddenly, analysts say Russia might be unable to send cosmonauts into space for the first time since 1961. Today's story is not just about a damaged launch pad, it's about a major shift in space power, a brewing geopolitical tension, and a crisis that could disrupt the International Space Station and reshape the entire future of human spaceflight. So buckle up, because this is much bigger than it looks. Let's start with the breaking news. Russia launched the Soyuz MS-28 spacecraft from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan. On board were 2 Russian cosmonauts and 1 American astronaut heading to the International Space Station. The launch looked successful. The spacecraft docked with the ISS. The crew boarded safely. Everything seemed normal until Russia's space agency Roscosmos quietly made an announcement. A post-launch inspection revealed damage to several elements of the launch pad, the same pad Russia relies on for every ISS mission. This is the only functioning launch pad Russia has for human flights, and now it's damaged. Roscosmos says they'll repair it in the near future, and they claim they have all the parts they need, but experts, including Russian analysts, are warning that repairs could take a week, maybe longer. Some are even saying this could create a historic disruption in Russia's ability to launch humans into space. Why this is a big deal? Let's break down why this matters, militarily, strategically, and geopolitically. Russia has only one launch pad for human missions. For decades, Russia has relied on the same launch pad at Baikonur to send cosmonauts to space. Vitaly Yegorov, a well-known Russian commentator, said this: "From this day, Russia has lost the ability to launch humans into space, something that has not happened since 1961. Think about that. This is the country that launched Yuri Gagarin, the first human in space, a nation that carried the ISS crew alone for nearly a decade when NASA's space shuttle retired. And now, they're down to 0 functional crew launch pads. That's not just a technical problem. It's a symbolic blow to Russia's global image. The damage could disrupt ISS crew rotation. Normally, ISS crew missions launch every 6 months from Baikonur. But if this pad is offline for too long, Russia might miss critical launch windows. Crew rotation could be delayed. Cargo missions could be impacted. One analyst warned, in the worst case, this could seriously affect the rotation of crewed missions and cargo flights to the ISS. Remember, Russia is a key partner in the ISS program. If they can't launch, the entire schedule gets shaken up. Here's where it gets interesting. NASA also launches astronauts, but through SpaceX's Crew Dragon. Boeing's Starliner is still trying to reach full operational status. So for now, there's really only one reliable path to orbit: SpaceX. Russia's issue basically hands the strategic advantage to the United States. For years, NASA paid Russia around $80 million per seat on Soyuz rockets. Today, NASA is self-sufficient. Russia is not. If Russia can't launch astronauts, they may have to rely on NASA for help. That's a geopolitical plot twist nobody expected. Baikonur is not even in Russia. It's in Kazakhstan. This is another layer of complication. Russia leases the Baikonur Cosmodrome from Kazakhstan. If Russia needs major upgrades, modernization, or temporary alternatives, Kazakhstan has to cooperate. And right now, Russia's political relationship with Kazakhstan is complicated. Kazakhstan has tried to keep distance from Russia due to the Ukraine war. This could slow repairs or complicate negotiations. In geopolitics, even a small repair can become a diplomatic issue. Russia's future ROS space station plan is now at risk. Russia has been planning to build its own space station, the Russian Orbital Station, as its relationship with the West deteriorated. And guess what? This same damaged launch pad was supposed to be used for those future missions, meaning a crack in the pad might be a crack in Russia's entire future strategy. The damage shows the age and stress of Russian space infrastructure. Baikonur's launch pads date back to the Soviet era. They've launched thousands of missions, but decades of wear and tear, extreme heat, vibration, and a lack of modern upgrades have pushed the hardware to the limit. A single launch can produce temperatures over 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit, shock waves, and intense mechanical stress. Russia's budget for space infrastructure has been shrinking. Corruption and mismanagement have been widely reported. And now, we may be seeing the consequences. Detailed analysis. What exactly happened to the launch pad? Roscosmos hasn't released detailed photos or technical reports yet, which is typical for Russian agencies. But sources say structural elements were damaged. Some support systems may have been compromised. The cosmonaut access structure took part of the stress. The flame trench may have been affected. All of these are critical. A launch pad isn't just a slab of concrete. It's a complex system of cryogenic fueling lines, electrical connections, flame deflectors, shock absorbers, and emergency escape equipment. If even one of these fails, no crewed mission can launch safely. This isn't something you fix with duct tape. What does this mean for the US? You might be wondering, what's the American angle? Why should US audiences care? Here's why. 1. US dominance in space just increased. Russia's weakness is America's advantage. 2. ISS operations could shift more responsibility to NASA and SpaceX. The US may become the primary lifeline to the ISS. 3. Russia may need US cooperation. Ironically, despite political tensions, Russia may rely more heavily on NASA during repair delays. 4. Booster for US private aerospace. SpaceX becomes even more central. Boeing's Starliner gains urgency. What does this mean for Russia? Huge implications. 1. Embarrassment on the world stage. Russia prides itself on being a space superpower. This is a painful blow. 2. Possible mission delays. If repairs take longer than expected, Russia's crew rotation schedule collapses. 3. Risk to upcoming missions. Future ISS and ROS plans depend on this pad. 4. Potential dependency on NASA. This is the biggest twist. Russia may need help from the very country it competes with. So what happens next? Roscosmos says repairs will be done soon. Analysts say it may take a week or much longer. It all depends on severity of structural damage, availability of specialized components, coordination with Kazakhstan, safety certification. Until then, Russia technically has no operational launch system for human missions, and this incident raises bigger questions about the state of Russian aerospace technology, funding, and long-term capabilities. So how does this affect the International Space Station? Important points. 1. The ISS currently has 10 people on board. 3 of them are scheduled to return by December 8th. Russia needs to launch replacements. Delays could force crew schedule reshuffling. If Russia can't launch their next crew on time, NASA and SpaceX may need to step in. We've never seen a situation like this before. Space is no longer just about exploration. It's about power, influence, technology dominance, and national prestige. Every successful launch is a statement. Every failure, also a statement. Russia's damaged launch pad sends a powerful message. Moscow's space capabilities are aging and increasingly vulnerable. Meanwhile, the US is expanding private spaceflight. China is rapidly building a new space station. India just landed on the moon's south pole. Japan is growing its space defense systems. Russia risks being left behind. Is this just a technical mishap or a sign of deeper structural problems within Russia's space industry? Because once you lose your only crew launch pad, you lose much more than metal and concrete. You lose momentum, you lose credibility, and you lose a piece of your identity as a spacefaring nation. So here's the big question for you. Do you think Russia will bounce back quickly, or are we witnessing the slow decline of one of the world's oldest space powers? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion actually shapes these discussions, and I always read what you write. If you want more breakdowns like this, covering defense, geopolitics, military tech, and global power shifts, make sure to stay with us. Because stories like this, they're not just news, they're a preview of the world we're all heading into.